get some feedback about the talk. What did you think about it, both of you?
I thought it was pretty cool. I was like, I didn't think it was going to be, I thought it was going to be a little bit more, it was intense, but like.
It was intense?
It was like for me, because I'm just like,
I think what makes it intense is that, like, it really gets you thinking.
Yeah.
Like, whether you stand strong, like, I'm not saying that you doubted where you stand, but it makes you, like.
Think.
Like, where am I coming from? Like, do I have background in all this, or do I have actual answers that will, like, like the questions that y'all had, like, do you really, I know I don't sit down and think, oh man, what do I think about this? Like, so, and it's so easy for someone to believe something or claim something without having, like, background that y'all are making us think about,
Yeah.
And I appreciate that it was respectful also.
Cool.
Like,
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
It's so great, though, because we get, like, even our pastors ask, like, why do you believe in Jesus? Like, why do you serve
Your
Jesus?
pastor even asked you that?
Yes, they
that's
asked
good.
us this. It was daily. It's just like, because to remind us, because like even the Bible says, like, be ready to defend your faith at all times.
Have you ever heard any bad reasons for believing in Jesus?
Oh, yes.
You have?
Yes.
But that was neat to see there at the end where she was kind of talking about how good it was.
Yeah.
That there was value in that.
Yeah.
That's cool. And it's actually starting to rain a little bit now.
It is.
Do you want to wrap up? I think maybe we should wrap it up. That was probably a good stopping point. I think we got some good ones.
12:30? Yeah, it's not much longer.
Yeah. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the Discord on speaker.
Sure.
And then we can both take questions from the audience that were listening to that. How does that sound, folks?
Perfect.
Oh, I have to go to my iPad. Yeah, now it's really raining. Okay, so I'm going to put you on speakerphone on my iPad here. Jenna, you can hold the iPad.
Sure.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Can you hear us?
It's raining now.
Yeah. Let's just sit down over there and protect you.
Huge Bong Rip.
Huge what rip?
I don't know.
Huge Bong Rip, it sounded like.
Bomb rip.
Bong Rip?
Oh.
I don't smoke marijuana, so I don't even know what that sounds like.
Like a bubbling
That's
noise.
exactly
Yeah.
what it sounded like.
Hey, we are done doing some SE, so you never know.
Did y'all have any questions, or did y'all learn anything?
Someone in the chat asked who, I don't know how you're going to be able to answer this, but who was the most interesting guest you guys have talked to or was challenging?
Mine was Christina, the woman that wanted to talk about education.
She was the most challenging.
And I think it's because that was my most challenging person.
Yeah.
Because it's not a topic that I find interesting.
Yeah.
So that's my own fault. So this is why we need people who have a variety of interests learning this method,
Totally.
who might have engaged with her better because they found the topic more interesting.
I definitely find her topic interesting. Like, I'm fascinated by how education, how poorly set up our educational system is. But I just find the religious conversation so much more interesting.
Me too.
And so that's why I think my most interesting conversation was probably with, what was her name? The girl who was already a non-believer.
Oh, Gabby.
Gabby, yes. Because almost everything that she said, I could very strongly personally relate to. So I found that very interesting.
That's true.
And
That's
that
true.
Kind of, because I'm still, people forget, I'm still very new to all of this. It's only been a year for me too.
Yeah.
So I still kind of need that validation and to hear that other people can relate to me.
All right, let's see if we can do an interview here. So a large part of what I do out here is waiting.
Hi. Hello.
Hello. How you doing?
Are you busy, or do you have a second to do an interview?
I'm actually early, so
Ooh.
what's it over?
Well, we're doing Street Epistemology. It's where you use questions to explore a claim someone makes because they think that it's true.
Oh boy, okay.
It only takes a few minutes.
Okay.
I do set a timer for 4 minutes. So sometimes when the timer beeps, the person that we're speaking to wants to keep going.
Okay,
Are
that's fine.
you okay? Would you mind if we recorded it and I had you stand in a certain spot so we can actually...
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah?
I appreciate you stopping. Thank you, Jenna, for... this is Jenna, by the way. My name's Anthony. Okay, so I'm trying to think. Yeah, I guess if you stand there, that's good.
Okay.
What is your first name?
Gabby.
My name is Anthony.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. This
I'm
is
Jenna. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Is it Gabby?
Yeah, it's a nickname, so
Okay.
I'm not too picky.
I met a woman yesterday whose name was Gabby, and it was Gabi.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of people as well like
Yeah,
that.
okay. Well, the idea here is to take a claim that you not only think is true, but it motivates you to act out on it because you think that it's true. So maybe you avoid stepping on cracks, because you think
Not
you're
break your own
superstitious.
crack.
You're
I guess not.
superstitious or something, or maybe you actually pray to a god before a test because you're sure it's going to help you. Maybe you're a conspiratorial-minded person and you think like the moon landing is a hoax or vaccines cause autism.
No.
Anything like that?
Not that
Karma.
I can think of. No, actually.
Not even karma.
Not even karma.
Awesome.
No.
Are you a skeptical person?
I guess more so, I'd say.
Okay. I'm just going to hit my timer. Were you always a skeptical person?
No, absolutely not. No.
How did you transition from a non-skeptical person to a skeptical person?
Someone debated me, and I got, like, they had so many facts behind them.
What?
And I had,
We were just
I had-
talking about this.
I had nothing. I had absolutely nothing, and so I started.
What was the topic?
It was church. It was Christianity, and I started reading the Bible, and I was like, oh, this doesn't say what I thought it said.
Wow.
That's so
And,
interesting.
I got obliterated, and then I went back and I apologized because I got kind of rude, and I didn't think that was a good way to do it.
So how did that feel to you?
I felt really guilty, honestly, because I got really defensive, and I should have been more open-minded
Oh,
and
wow.
friendly about it. I mean, it's nice to have a debate, but I think you should be cordial with it.
Totally.
And I went against that, which wasn't cool.
Oh, during this debate, you were more of the aggressor than the person.
Definitely. I mean, they started it, but I got more
Okay.
aggressive quickly, for sure.
Why do you
Which,
think that
I mean,
was?
wrong.
Why do you think that?
I think I was very emotionally attached to mine, and I think they were going based more off of reason, I guess. And so I think I was just getting frustrated because I didn't have a retort, and I just kept going, and I should have stopped.
That's really interesting because the approach that we're attempting to do today is more of a gentler, non-debate, non-aggressive approach. But there are people who encounter somebody who uses an aggressive approach and it actually changes their mind. They actually change fundamentally in their position. It's not unheard of. It happens. It can
I was
happen.
the aggressor. They were nice, and I thought, man, if I'm the one being rude, like maybe I
Oh.
should.
Okay, that's interesting.
That's
Yeah.
interesting.
When did this happen?
Oh man, it happened probably like a year ago. Probably
Wow.
about a year.
It wasn't a guy on campus with a camera recording you by any chance, was it?
No, I actually didn't go here.
I'm starting to know.
I actually
What
didn't
school
go
was
here.
it? Because I've been
I
to
went
different
to
schools.
Tarleton.
Okay,
Oh,
I
okay.
haven't been there.
No, it was probably the one open atheist on campus too, so it was really funny.
Can you tell us a little bit about the approach that they used with you? I know that you were aggressive back to them.
Oh yeah. Well, it actually kind of started. We were in the same sorority, and so we were talking, and then Christianity came up, and I guess everyone just kind of assumed that everyone was a Christian because that's how it typically is. And so she spoke up. She's like, "Well, actually, I'm not one, and if you want to talk about it, we can." And I was like, "Oh yeah, like let's talk about it." Which
Did she? It was a woman.
it was, yes.
Was it a one-on-one where she sat down with you and talked?
Yeah,
or
we
were
talked.
there other
We
people?
didn't talk in front of everyone because
Mm-hmm.
she was like, this may hurt you a little bit. So
Was she older than you? Was she the same age?
yeah, she was about a year or two, not too much.
Okay. Because sometimes I wonder if sometimes we defer to people because they're older than us,
Maybe.
and we're just
Right.
being
Than she
polite, and
was.
maybe we're a little bit more open to change if we
Or
encounter
somebody
somebody.
that you knew before as well.
Yeah, we were friends. I mean, we still
Mm-hmm.
are friends. We're cool.
This is really fascinating, honestly. How did your life change in any way when you find yourself becoming more skeptical and not
my
and
goodness,
setting aside
everything.
Christianity?
Everything changed. Everything. Because I used to be, I guess, a lot more superstitious. Like I used to be. All of those questions, I probably would have said yes a year ago.
Karma, vaccines.
No, not vaccines. Okay, not that one.
Okay, not that
I
one.
wasn't. No, I wasn't that.
Okay. I
No,
was.
not that.
Huh.
I didn't believe in that, but I was pretty superstitious. Like I would pray before eating, otherwise I don't know, like the food would poison or something. I don't know. I didn't actually have that belief, but something bad would happen.
Yeah.
If someone did something bad to me, then something bad would happen back to them. If I did something
Right.
bad, it would happen back to me. I used to believe in all of that. But then I guess you just asked me, well, where's the proof? And I really thought about it. Like it took me, it wasn't instant change. Like it took me probably 3 months
Wow.
to really come to terms with where is my proof? Like I don't have any. I didn't have anything. I didn't have anything to back it up. I didn't have any evidence. I just kind of believed in it for no reason. I mean, it was just told to me, and I just soaked it up, and I never actually questioned it. And then it just changed, I guess. I feel like before, whenever I would do something kind, it was for a reward. Like it was, oh, something good's gonna happen to me in return. And then when something good didn't happen, I was like, what did I do? What did I do to deserve this? Whereas now I'm like, well, something bad happens, things happen. Like it's okay. You should be good because you want someone to feel nice, not because you want something in return.
If you could press a button and go back to that person that you were, would you do it?
It would make certain social aspects easier, for sure, but I don't think I would. I think I'm kinder now than I was, to be honest. I mean, I did nice things, but it was always for something back. And I'm not saying everyone's like that, that's just how I personally was. So I don't think I was the best person, so I wouldn't go back.
Okay, wow. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Gabby,
Thank you for stopping.
Yeah, really.
You made me feel so good.
Yeah, I'm really glad you stopped. And I'm glad that you decided to take the time to question your views like that.
Yeah, well,
A lot of people don't do that. A lot of people are content with what they were taught. And they don't go beyond that, because the process of trying to rethink things and try to navigate life and find meaning and purpose without those views can be challenging for some people. So
well,
I'm really
I think
glad that you did that.
Honestly, I think it was easier for me because when I was a child, I actually got into an argument with a kid over whether Santa Claus was real or not. And I said, well, I know Santa Claus is real because my mom told me so.
Aww.
And then when I found out she lied, I was like, oh, that hurts. And I think that made me, this is really stupid, but that made me question everything.
No, that's not stupid.
Like, it made me much more open-minded, like, oh, well, if I thought that was real, I mean, what else could I be believing?
Fantastic.
But, I mean, I'm sure there's still things I believe in now that are false. I just don't know what they are yet. And if someone comes and tells me, then I'll have to look it up.
Well, on that note, if as you're walking away, you think of something that you might think may not be true,
Okay.
and you would like us to explore it with you by asking questions and using street epistemology,
Sure.
come on back and we'll explore it, we'll walk it through you. And we do it really respectfully. We ask questions. We want to get to your reasons and your methodology.
Okay. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, take a card too before you go. And one last thing, would you like to have one of these three pieces as a gift and as a reminder of the conversation, and then maybe you can come back for the other two and build out the set?
Okay, that's really cool.
Which color would you prefer?
Yellow. I love yellow.
Go for the yellow.
I love that you love yellow.
Yellow's my
Okay.
favorite.
Gabby, that was really fantastic. Thank you for
Nice
stopping.
meeting you.
Damn.
Almost everything she said. I'm
What
like,
the
me
fuck?
too.
Is she
Me
like
too.
watching
Me too.
our stuff and like
Oh my
listening on the
God.
Discord server? I mean, you couldn't almost ask for a better testimonial, maybe,
Yeah.
of like the power of asking yourself questions and challenging people. Like that woman, right? That stepped up and said, "Oh, I don't believe."
I don't.
That was brave to do that.
Yeah.
And look at the benefit of doing that.
Yeah. I love it. I love it.
Fantastic.
Yay for Gabby. If she
Fantastic.
finds this.
Yay for Gabby, indeed. Yeah, and I have to remind myself too that maybe a healthy mix of those types of feedbacks or videos on my channel might be a good complement to the strictly SE. Let me get to your
Right.
foundation and put a pebble in your shoe to challenge you
Yeah.
about your method.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
Is it hard to resist the temptation to always turn it towards a religious topic?
Yes.
It is for me, but did you notice we actually kept it on a karma? We kept it on karma, and we didn't go to religion.
Yep.
With that other woman.
I
I
thought you were going to.
think it was her name was Sarah.
I kind of sensed that there was a reason she didn't go with that one. That she seemed pretty guarded. But yeah, I don't know if y'all could see that because you couldn't see a camera.
No, it sounded that way.
It did sound that way. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I think.
But
she
you
would've-
raised such a good point that there was still value in using SE on that claim.
Oh, totally.
Because she may have been more open to exploring it, learning the method, and then, she talked about like wanting to go look at videos
Right, and the
where
fact
maybe
that
she
we
wouldn't
could-
have done that with the religious one.
Maybe. Well, but the fact that we could put karma and religion in the same box, even.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh wait, how is that the same? You know?
Yeah. No, that was a good day.
Yeah, it was fun.
It's kind of sprinkling out here pretty hard, so we are actually. Maybe I can get someone to take a picture of us while we're sitting here. But no, I think it was fun.
There was not any rain.
I liked it.
Well, it's not rain. It's just like sprinkles here and there. So I don't know if it counts. It's like not even a quarter inch.
Yeah.
Like drop and then it dissolves.
Yeah. Who knows? Well, somebody just said it's not going to be raining here today. Somebody
He
gave me
said it's
the-
not supposed to.
Yeah. Oh well. My epistemology was faulty, I guess.
Why?
No, for thinking that it wasn't going to rain.
Oh. Can you actually verify?
No, can't.
I mean, you had bad evidence. You were told that from from an authority that it was not going to rain, and it did.
Yeah.
Right.
Just accepted it.
So let me ask you, Jenna. This is your first time doing SE in public, I think. Well, in
with the
person in
exception-
public.
Not under a spotlight and in a closed, padded room with
Yeah, okay.
microphones and an audience.
Which one was more stressful for you? The SE that we did today, or the interactions where maybe you're using SE on the ACA shows?
I'd say it's exactly the same.
Really?
In the sense that if I'm doing it with somebody, like if I'm doing it with you and you're taking the lead, or if I was on AXP and Matt was taking the lead or something like that, it's equally stressful to me. And I would additionally say that if I was to take the lead, just like I took the lead the first time on Sunday on AXP, if I was the only one, kind of the main person leading the conversation, I find it a little bit more stressful. But again, equally. I don't know if that was a really confusing answer.
No, I got you. So the venue really had no impact at all.
I would say it's more of the pressure to maintain the kind of conversation that I'm going for is where most of my anxiety comes from.
Yeah.
But even though there's anxiety there, it's not unbearable. It's definitely there, and I notice it. But that's also just a personal thing. But again, it's something that the more I do it, the more comfortable I get. But I figured out that that's just a lot of things in life. So
I was going to ask you that. If you kept doing this, do you think that you would likely become more comfortable doing it? It sounds like you would.
Yeah.
Would you mind taking our picture while we're sitting here? Would you mind? Maybe like from behind to get this tripod in the shot? Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much.
No problem.
Appreciate it. Okay.
So, yeah.
Aww.
How long have you been doing these here? 3 years? 5 years?
No, I just got an email today from YouTube that I've been uploading videos for 7 years.
7 years.
7 years.
Wow.
I'm going to put that on my public Facebook page.
And do you feel more comfortable?
Very.
Yeah.
Yeah. This does not unnerve me at all. It honestly doesn't.
This is like a walk in the park.
It's like putting on my pants.
Really?
Yeah.
That easy?
Yeah, it's easy.
Wow, I hope I get that.
It's actually, this was probably more challenging for me than normally because I feel like I don't want to let you down. We need to get good examples. I can feel my anxiety increasing
Pressure.
because I don't want to let you down. And I want you to have good examples and make the podcast that we do, together good. And, but other than that, no, you become really natural just talking to people because they're doing all the work. Think about it.
It kind of sounds like waiting tables because they're the ones ordering. It's just up to you to organize the flow of it. And the more that you do it, the better you get at it. And you can kind of control the order of things, if that makes any sense. You can control how it turns out and make it more pleasant.
I see.
But they're the ones that are coming up with, they're the ones taking their time reading the menus and, so it's up to you to create a pleasant experience for everyone there, even though one person is being difficult, know? So that same kind of pressure is something, the reason I bring that up is because I think I can relate in that sense.
Okay. I'm going to post the picture of us. We just had somebody take a picture of me and Jenna sitting here while we're chatting.
Someone was asking about your patience and how you keep yourself from kind of jumping on them when they say something like God gave us the free will to decide.
Oh, I know.
Things like that. How do you keep your patience?
Your patience?
Me?
Well, both of you, I think. Yeah, both of you.
I remind myself that this might be the first time that they're actually saying it out loud and the value that comes with doing that.
Okay.
And actually, the woman there, what was her name? Gracie, verbalized it. So reminding myself the benefit of just letting them talk it out and not getting triggered or upset by it. Let them say their mind, but then step in to kind of direct it. Like, okay, because she wanted to talk about like what?
Right.
What this is what I believe, and this is the benefit that I get from it.
Right, she didn't want to talk about the why.
I'm interested in why and how.
Yeah.
It helps me to stay calm and not get upset by it when I remind myself of the benefit of not getting upset by it.
Right. Yeah,
Does that make sense?
I would have said something very similar in the sense that I think that there's a bigger picture here.
you know, rather than just that one thing that they said that really gets under my skin, and I personally disagree with that. There's a bigger picture here. And so I'm like, don't focus on that. And I also have to pay close attention. So anybody who's seen me on AXP knows that I wear my heart on my sleeve, and you can tell what I'm thinking looking at my face. So I have to pay very close attention to what my face is doing when they say something.
Are you
like
more
that.
guarded in that situation? You're more guarded about your own views?
Me?
Yeah.
Wait, what do you mean?
Are you more guarded about revealing your own emotions and positions when you're engaging with people on their views?
Yes, because I realize that so that's the thing, is I remember I told you at the beginning, I know that I come off as condescending to people a lot. There have been things like that where, for example, if somebody were to say, oh, because, you know, we have free will, right? And I make, like a face, right? Which I normally would do. I have to tell myself, don't react.
Oh, okay.
Because that could turn them off and that can make them defensive.
I do that too.
Right. So in that sense, I have to just kind of control myself in that way. But I don't have a problem letting somebody see how I feel when they're asking me about my views.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. I guess I try to remind myself that this is an exercise for the person that I'm questioning.
Right.
It's not about me.
If I realize that if I make that certain expression, I will put their guard up, and then they could potentially get harmed from this, and I could potentially get harmed from this, and it's just not an all-around bad situation just because I allowed my emotions to come out at that moment. But that doesn't mean that I'm dishonest when I don't. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. And I was going to say, because you were gentle and respectful at the start, they may be gentle and respectful to you when it's your turn to explain your views.
Right.
Because you've modeled it for them at the start.
Right.
So it might make for a productive they may actually finally listen to an atheist explain why she doesn't think God is real.
Right.
In a more open way because you afforded her that same.
Right. Well, you notice the last girl that we talked to, she was assuming that we were Christians.
Possibly.
The way that she was talking to us, she's like, because, you know, we got the free will, and, you know, if we were to go and talk to an atheist,
maybe,
blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, she's assuming that we're Christians because we're not getting combative, we're not trying to tell her what to think, we're not coming off the way that she would assume an atheist would do.
And she may very well have good reason to think that that's how atheists respond.
Right, she may have had a bad experience.
Because maybe she called into the atheist.
Or maybe.
I couldn't resist.
There's another question from one of those guys. He says, for both of you, what is the best course of action when someone tries to answer a question you did not ask? To stop them and repeat the question for them, or to let them finish and revisit the question again later?
My instinct says it would depend on where they take it. That was probably the one I struggled with the most.
Don't you guys think it's the answer to the question on whether Jenna is doing AXP or doing Street Epistemology?
Well, but we just talked about that. That's sort of the same thing.
What did you say?
Don't you think?
No, when you're doing AXP, it's stop.
Oh,
Stop.
I see.
Here's an additional challenge.
No, listen.
Shut up.
Stop, I'm talking.
Well, you have some technical challenges with the phones because it's not bi-directional.
Yeah, there's several differences there.
The other thing, too, with AXP, I noticed, well, it's two people.
Yeah.
So while I may not be listening to my interlocutor as closely because, let's say you're asking a question, I may not even be paying attention to the question you're asking my interlocutor because I'm waiting for you to stop talking so I can ask my question. And that may happen on the show, too, where that might be an additional challenge is you have two hosts and one caller. Yeah. I wonder what would happen on AXP if you had one host and one caller.
I've been thinking about that, actually.
Yeah.
What it would be like if it was just me, because I think
it
I
could
would
be
take it a much slower...
Yeah.
I would take it much more like this, I think. I would allow the pauses. And I would allow the time to think and not nitpick on every single
You're
thing.
almost competing with the other host to ask your question.
You kind of are.
You are.
Because it's whoever speaks about it first kind of determines which direction the call's going to go. And so you can't just say, oh, but I had this point I wanted to say something
right.
about, because then that's just confusing.
You said something 5 minutes ago that I really wanted to touch on.
Right.
Why
so
are you even doing
have
that?
To adjust, like, oh, I didn't really want to take it that direction, but they already took it that direction, so we just kind of have to go from there.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
No, totally. I wonder, well, Dan has a one-on-one show, so that's kind of the model for that right?
Yeah.
If he ever goes on vacation, maybe you can host his show, and then you get a chance to do a one-on-one thing.
Well, probably.
Maybe you can come up with a new show called Studio Epistemology or something.
Studio Epistemology. Ooh. Well, I'm kind of doing that on my show, like in the sense of like, I'm bringing up all these different topics.
Your podcast?
I'm bringing up, vaccinations and climate change and all kinds of different things that I'm having to relook at now that I'm no longer in that religious world. And so that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm bringing on somebody like next week. I'm going to have on Anthony, and we're going to basically street epistemology.
You know, when you said Anthony, I was like, whose Anthony is this? Do I know him? I was like, oh, that's me.
But we're gonna basically have a conversation. I'm gonna ask him about, why does this work? Why is this a good thing? And kind of the origins of it. And
do you ever solicit questions from your audience?
I don't do it live.
In advance. Like, hey, I'm gonna have Anthony on next week. Do you have any questions for me?
Well, the thing is that I'm new to this non-religion thing. I'm new to AXP. I'm new to the YouTube world. I didn't know what a podcast was a little over a year ago. Like, I'm so new to so many things that I thought I'd be able to do like 4 shows a month. And then found out, okay, that's not happening. Maybe I can do 2 shows a month. And now I'm struggling to just do 1 a month. So it's like scheduling's really hard. But once I get to the point where I can have like a established platform and once I can finally get everything under control, then I'll be able to plan ahead and say, oh, let's take questions. And I may even add in another episode in there and say, let's just critique what we just talked about, or let's just answer questions, depending on
critique calls that you've taken on AXP. Would you do that?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh,
actually,
cool.
Matt has already talked with me and Eric about wanting in the future at some point possibly to do that, because we want to critique ourselves.
Fantastic.
And we'd love to do that on air because if we're going to do it anyway.
Oh, a separate. Oh, interesting.
Maybe
for
maybe
Patreons,
as an ACA show.
For Patreons, maybe.
I'm not sure how it would end up. In fact, I'm probably speaking on it too early. But
I think that's a brilliant idea.
It's at least in the works, and I know it's in the back of my head, and I know that I will push for it harder if something doesn't happen soon.
Well, and it probably happened more if you decided to incorporate it into the show, as opposed to let's all meet at the library at 7:00.
Maybe.
And do a recap. People are going to show up late, etc. But if you had actually made it into a show, I'm thinking that you might actually get more serious participation.
We might.
If you.
You know what? this might become a thing quicker than.
I was wondering, are you on the board? Are you on the ACA board or not?
I am not.
You're not. Okay, I wasn't sure if you were or not.
No.
I have a question about a method that I think you specifically, Anthony, do really well, and both of you can answer this question, but it kind of relates to that patience thing. When someone has a claim that is a little bit, or maybe they say something that your kind of knee-jerk reaction would be just to maybe dismantle tradition. But what I find you doing is a lot of times just restating what they're saying in a different manner and having them hear. I think it's really effective, and I saw a sample of that in this recent talk where she was saying, I think initially it was like, can people believe in a God and not believe in no initially, because she was thinking just straight up the Christian God. I was like,
right.
Okay, but then it expanded upon. So when you restate back to them, what is your strategy in doing that? Are you trying to simplify what they're saying, or are you kind of trying to expand upon it a bit?
Well, if you can't put it into your own words what you're learning, then you don't really understand it. So I think that it's a good way of determining, can I put this in my own words? And while I'm saying it, they can say, no, that's not what I'm saying. And then we can say, okay, well, what are you saying? Does that make sense?
Yeah, okay. I think it's a really effective. I find it to be, listening to a lot of these, that's really effective sometimes. And people will say something, and then you'll repeat it back to them, and it might even be the exact same thing, and they go, oh no, that's not what I was saying. So
right.
I don't know, I was curious how to best do that, I guess.
Or they don't realize that they're not putting enough thought behind what they're saying, and when you repeat it, then they're like, oh wait, that sounds a little crazy. That can't be what I'm saying. Right. And then they start, that really is what they were saying. So then they go and later start thinking, wait a second,
And they're already changing their mind if they're doing that.
Right. They're already in the process of, well, okay, let me update this belief.
They've literally just changed their mind in front of you if they say, oh, let me reword it differently.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. Good stuff. Well, it looks like we have a lot of people listening here. This is cool. And we're going to do this again at Jenna's. We've got a lot of... that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Gosh, I don't get this kind of turnout when I'm doing SE by myself.
It's because you had a surprise guest. They thought it was going to be Sam Harris.
Somebody's like, is it Sam Harris or Jordan Peterson? I don't know if I should tell Jenna that people were wondering that.
Nope, just me.
No, my Jenna Belk. This is awesome. You did great out there. And you're a natural. You're very comfortable talking to people, even complete strangers.
Waiting for it.
Yeah, probably so. Any last questions before we wrap it up? It's kind of getting warm and muggy out here now, and Jenna needs to drive back to Austin. Anything else?
2-second lag or something. Maybe not.
There's no other questions coming through on the chat.
Okay.
But that was really awesome, Jenna.
Thank you.
That was great.
What's your name?
Slither Kitten.
Slither Kitten. Hi.
Hi.
Oh, does she have online content?
She's over here.
Well,
she might be typing.
I don't know who Jenna is, but does she have any online content we can look at?
Yeah, maybe somebody can post the link to Jenna's channel, Jenna's YouTube channel again. I think you may have done it earlier. But if you want, maybe drop that and she can get some subscribers out of this. And then my interview with you should be on your channel. And maybe even some of the video. I'm completely fine with you taking this footage. And you can put it on your own channel.
I may even add it at the end or something.
Okay.
And say, hey, this is the video that we're talking about.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, maybe.
Hey, real quick, is y'all's Talk in Austin going to be a public thing?
It's not going to be live, but it will be public.
Okay.
We're filming Thursday, so hopefully I'll be able to have it out that week, the same week or the next week.
It's okay.
Go ahead.
Oh, it's this Thursday?
We're filming it next
tomorrow.
Thursday, a week from tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'll
All
tell
right.
you, and then you can announce if you want.
When it comes out.
When it's done and ready to be posted. Because what I do is I post it a day early for my patrons, and then release it to the public the next day.
Okay. Are you in the Street Epistemology Discord server yet, Jenna?
I am.
Okay, so Jenna's in the SE Discord server, so you don't have to hunt her down in the huge ACA Discord server.
I think it's Jenna 9 Monique, though. I don't think it's Jenna Belk.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe when you get back home, you could just, I don't know, let people know that you're there.
Yeah.
Okay, everyone, thank you for... Oh, sorry.
We just tagged her, so we found her.
Oh, yay.
It is
Cool.
time.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Nice meeting you all.
We're going to wrap it up. Thank you very much. Take it easy.
Thank you.
All right, bye-bye. That was good. That worked out really good.
Fun.
The technology can sometimes be hit or miss, and pretty much all day long. The only thing, it would have been easier if you had AirPods in too. So next week, Lloyd Evans, he's going to be on the show. He's on Monday or Tuesday. He's coming here to do SE with me.
Oh, nice.
So I'm going to remind him to bring his AirPods or something.
Yeah.
So he can be talking and the people can be hearing him.
Cool. That's a good idea.
Yeah, that was really fun. Yeah, that was great. That was great.
Actually, I'm down with doing this again sometime.
Yeah, we should.
To find a way to not have to take off work for it.
Yeah, what is the best day of the week? Weekends are not good for me. I need to kind of do it during the day when my kids are at school.
See, that's the thing is I base 7 to 3. I work while the kids are at school.
Yeah.
Summertime.
Well, here's another thing that we could do. If you're open to it, I wouldn't mind I don't know how you plan on doing your critiquing episodes. But if you want me to actually like call in to do it or show up in Austin, I could
Yeah.
I could show up, and way in there too.
I'm actually Thursday.
Either way.
What's today? Tuesday. Thursday, I'm seeing Matt, and we're going to critique the show from Sunday.
Okay.
And so at that time.
Is Dan gonna be there too?
No. I'm going to ask him at that time about even seeing if we can record the one we do on Thursday and see if he's okay with recording that.
You got the studio there.
Yeah.
You might as well use it.
So we might want to do that.
I was thinking, you can even, remember how you were saying you loved seeing me critique myself? Your audience would probably love seeing you guys critique your own interactions.
Oh, totally.
And you can throw that behind Patreon.
And I think that people seeing, just witnessing.
Yeah,
Somebody
that's the one thing. If you
and
put
then
it
not freaking out.
if you put it behind a firewall, then that's less people that you get to show that to.
Right.
But maybe you can do it once or twice. Maybe you can do it like once or twice, and then put the rest of it behind a paywall. Yeah.
Take this off?
Yeah. You can just take it off. It might be hard. You have to like remove it like a shirt. Yeah. No. Do like 2 episodes where you critique yourself like right after AXP and say if you really like this, join our Patreon and you can see we're going to critique one call from every episode or something. And maybe even ask people to vote on the ones they want you to critique.
Oh, that's a good idea.
I'm an idea person.
Yeah, we need to get you involved with ACA.
I'm already pretty involved.
You are?
Yeah, I love what you guys do. Actually, I'm kind of...
Is there one here?
What?
Like a community nonprofit organization in San Antonio? Or is it...
There's one called FACT, Free Thinkers and Atheists. Free Thinking Association of Central Texas. They don't use the atheist word in that.
Oh, there you go. That's smart.
But it's...
So
Yeah.
that's the thing, is we're trying to bring the millennials into it.
Well, you're doing the right thing. You and V and Dan and Eric and...
Jamie and...
Yeah, like these people... I mean, I think they will they would probably enjoy listening to you guys engage with people than maybe some of the older people.
Right, because people want to be relatable.
Mm-hmm.
People want to relate to people.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Mm-hmm. Well, that was fun. That was a huge success.
Amazing experience.
That was good. Yeah.
I don't know if you remember, but I messaged you right after I deconverted, like a week or 2 after I deconverted. And I was like, I need help, but I want to learn your street epistemology stuff. And you're like, here's this link, and here's this link, and here's this link, and here's this link. This is awesome. Go ahead and do it.
That's cool.
And I was like, okay, I'm going to go get a clipboard. It's like, I'm going to do it.
Oh, wow. You were like ready to go out and do it.
I was like, I'm going to try. But the more that I watched, the more I realized I'm not ready for this. I am not near enough patient.
Do you think you're more ready now for it than before? Yeah.
Yes, because the thing is that right after I deconverted, I learned that I had PTSD from my childhood, which allowed me to start learning about my own emotional intelligence, which was a 0 in January. So...
Gosh, you've just had some tremendous growth then, because
Oh
from what I observed of you today, I mean, you have everything that you need to be good at this, whether it's out here or it's on a call-in show.
Really?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
I kind of felt that.
That you stood there and then you were just, like, for you to listen to that last one when we talked to you, just kind of ramble on about this is such a good belief and blah, blah, blah. Like, that would really just trigger me in the past where I'd be like, I gotta just crush this.
Oh, yeah.
And to see you just there like, okay. But I think it helps. Like, I don't know, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I'm wondering if it actually may have helped you be more calm because we were recording it. I don't know.
Actually, the recording doesn't affect me at all.
Okay.
The cameras, none of that ever affects me.
It affects me in that I realize that lots of people can actually be watching this and judging me about judging my behavior. So I'm actually calmer.
Interesting.
It's kind of helped.
I get so involved in what they're saying and listening now that I can't really pay much attention to anything else.
Excuse me. So stick this up here.
What is this?
Oh, we're just gonna pay for our parking.
How much is it?
Oh. Do you have time for lunch, or you want to jet back up? What time is it? Like 1?
1. It'll be about an hour and a half.
Just go home.
Yeah.
Just go home. We'll do something.
But we'll do something after Thursday.
Yeah. Oh, maybe. It depends on what day. 3:30. Yeah, that might work. That might work.
Maybe?
Yeah. It all depends.
It shouldn't take long. I only plan on doing 20-minute talks.
Yeah. If my daughter's volleyball team wins tonight, I might have a game to go to on Thursday.
Okay.
Did it read it?
I'm gonna just make you new one because it's creased, so I may take it here, but probably.
Oh, okay.
$8, sir.
$8. There you go. How have you been? Hello. Doing good, you? Good. interviewed her on camera about 3 years ago. She emailed me to say, please don't use the footage.
Wow.
Thank you. I've got so many stories I can tell here. It's ridiculous. Honestly, I'm really thinking about writing a book.
You should.
Yeah,
You really
I do
should.
need to.